Well, hello everyone. Well, apparently I've hosted my first OSU tournament before, and I would like to share some of my experience with you, as it was some sort of my life lesson, which is dealing with criticism. Well, critics are a very common thing. You see them everywhere. The closest example to you right now is probably the comment sections in YouTube. And as you can see, there will be the positive and the negative critics. And also tournament have no exceptions. If you have participated in the tournament before, you might see some sort of feedback channels in Discord server, and people give their feedbacks or opinions or even flaming there regarding of map pool, the tourney organization, or things in general. What I'm going to tell you is a thing that I have to deal with before. Or imagine you were a tournament host. You release the map pool to the spreadsheet, and apparently a particular map sparked a huge controversy that flooded the feedback channel. Well, not just hundreds of the message, but thousands, thousands of them. If you were the tournament host, how are you gonna deal with it at this point? Well, if you're not sure on how to deal with critics, I have the answer for you. To begin with, people are entitled to their own opinions. Well, not everyone thinks the same or agree on what you're doing. I mean, especially when you're in the spotlight or in this case, the tournament you're hosting or staffing in. Well, if people start to impose their opinions or critics on you, that means that you have some sort of pressure on yourself. And the pressure seems to make you overanalyze things or to put it in a simple way, you tend to think about those critics too much, unfortunately. If you feel overwhelmed, well, don't handle it alone. Remember that you're working as a team. So just talk to your co-host or the staff team. Well, we are only human and sometimes things are just too much to handle. So don't hesitate to talk to someone about it. And now we'll get to the topic. As I mentioned earlier, there will be two major types of criticisms, the positive and the negative one. So let's talk about this positive one first. You find that language in a respectful way. They will give you constructive feedbacks that help you and your team grows and make things better. So it's important to note those feedbacks down and let your team know about them. And yeah, don't forget to thank those who give you constructive feedbacks. Well, honestly, they're the best. They have good intentions and being respectful. So yeah. But here's the main problem, the negative feedbacks. Those words are tend to mainly based on their emotions or driven by their ego. Those words will attack you and give you conflict and negativity. I completely understand this point because those feedbacks are not pleasant to read at all. So here are some tips to tackle with those negativity. So first, stop stop your first reaction to them. If your first reaction is going to be defensive or to lash back at them, so then I highly recommend you to take a step back and take some time to think. To explain with a little bit help of science, people's first responses are mostly driven by emotions. So it's better to let yourself cool down and use your logic instead. After you cool yourself down, make sure to find the objective in their words. So people don't complain without any cause. So try to understand their intentions, and if you find them useful, then note them down as well. And another important thing is that you should keep in mind is that you should set your boundaries whether you're going to accept those critics or not. Well, some critics are completely useless. Something like the map pool is shit, the map pool sucks, or any kind of negativity like that. Well, those are things that you should completely ignore them because they're just driven by their emotions with zero logic behind that. And lastly, well, sometimes you have to silence those critics at some point. Because to err is human, so speak from your side as well. So to understand your situation, and maybe ask them to give actionable points in their next feedback. So this will help them to offer a better feedback in the next time. Well, to sum all things up, critics are pretty common in everything. So set your boundaries on what kind of critics to receive, and take notes on on those constructive feedbacks to help you grow. And remember, well, stop caring of what people think to you. Honestly, stop caring of what people think of you. Well, those are kind of my random thoughts while I was showering. So I decided to make this mini podcast to share my thoughts. If you have anything to comment or discuss, then feel free to drop your message down below in the comment section. And thank you for listening. Thank you, honestly. Thank you so much.